Wow, stories.
My abusive husband thought he could intimidate me, but with audio evidence and the law on my side. I watched him get handcuffed and dragged away by the cops. Every conversation with him, 42-year-old male, feels like I'm 36-year-old female losing my mind. The only thing that has kept me semi-sane and able to track what he has been doing is my audio journal and my posts on here. Last week, it was my 36th birthday. Actually, I had forgotten it was my birthday and was reminded by my sister that it was in fact my birthday. I decided I couldn't mope around the house, and I got my kids dressed to go shopping and get groceries. We got back and I put away half of the groceries, but my babies were fussy, and so to tire them out and get them ready for bed, we went for a walk. When I got back home, he was in the kitchen cooking and putting away some of the groceries I had left out. He greeted me and acted normal. I didn't react because his entire demeanor was freaking me out, so I played along. I went upstairs and got the kids down. I did think of walking out the front door, but he was kind of anticipating it. So he was following me around, and I thought in the moment that the best thing I could do was to get my kids upstairs and away from him. He said he wanted to talk and clear the air because this has gone on too long. We had a long conversation, and it started out reasonable, but eventually spiraled out of control. We got into a physical confrontation because I refused to let him stay. He tried to physically intimidate me, and he, hurt me. While he was hurting me, I was still able to contact the police. It took them an excruciatingly long 20 to 25 minutes to get there. So here I am, sitting with two completely black and blue eyes, a busted lip, swollen face, massive knots on my head, and bruises all over. I don't know what happened to my life or how I got here, but here I am. I can't even look my neighbors in the eyes. I can't go outside without seeing the shocked faces of people. I have never felt so ashamed, so humiliated, so hurt, and so utterly stupid. I thought I made all the right choices in life. What did I do wrong? When did it all get so messed up? I think I did everything right. I created a stable life for myself, then picked a man that, at the time, was a very loving partner. I married that man and waited 5 years before even going through the process of having children with him. And now, once I've had his children, he's just beating on me and our babies. Edit. My sister is now aware of what's been happening, and she is supporting me as best as she can. I have plans to move out, but since I'm not working right now, I need some time to save up. His family is also aware. His family refused to believe that I saw him hurt our child, but they can't deny this attack now that they've seen my bruises. Also, yes, he was arrested and he was bailed out by his brother. He's currently staying with his brother. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. The only person who deserves to feel ashamed, humiliated, or stupid is him. He is the one who did wrong. You are not to blame for any of this. If he had shown his true self at the beginning, you never would have built a life with him. Abusers know this, so they wait until their victim is tied to them, moving in together or marriage or children, before they let the mask slip. You couldn't have known there was a monster behind the mask. Please try not to blame yourself. He is the only one responsible for his horrific behavior. Please keep your children and yourself safe. You will escape from this nightmare, and you will heal. Comment 2. You had the courage to call the police. That is the beginning of getting help. You cannot change people. Apparently, he grew up and changed. I was married, had 2 kids, My husband got hurt on the job and was addicted to pain meds in the 70s. No one was familiar with it. Trust me, it isn't pretty. The bad part was he got meds from a doctor. He would get unpredictable. Once a man is like that, you cannot live like that. You need to make a decision about what kind of life you want and get a plan in place. He will only get worse. You cannot fix him. Now for the update. Thanks for sticking around. A lot has happened since my last post. So, after he got bailed out, things took a turn. I was trying to keep it together, but then I found out he was spreading lies about me. He told everyone I was the one who got violent, and that he was just defending himself. Can you believe that? My blood boiled when I heard it. I wanted to scream the truth from the rooftops, but I knew I had to be smart about this. I started gathering evidence. I had photos of my injuries, and I remembered the audio journal. I had recorded everything, even some of his threats from before. I knew I had to use this to set the record straight. But then, I made a mistake. In a moment of anger, I confronted him at his brother's place. I wanted to see the look on his face when I told him I had proof. It was a bad idea. His brother got involved, and it got ugly fast. They accused me of trying to set him up, and I left there feeling worse than ever. But then, my sister came through for me. She had been talking to a lawyer friend, and we decided to take legal action. We filed for a restraining order and used the recordings as evidence. The look on his face in court when they played his own voice back to him was priceless. He tried to argue, but it was no use. The order was granted, and for the first time in a long time, I felt a little bit of relief. I thought that was the end of it, but no, he couldn't let it go. He started sending me messages through friends, trying to get me to drop the restraining order, saying he wanted to reconcile for the kids' sake. I wasn't falling for it. I ignored him, but he didn't take the hint. One day I came home to find my front door open. My heart sank. I rushed in, fearing the worst, but it was something else. He had broken in and taken all the family photos, the kids' birth certificates, and some jewelry my grandmother had given me. It was a violation, a message that he could still get to me. I called the police and they started an investigation. I was scared, but I was also angry. I wasn't going to let him win. I reached out to his family, the ones who had seen my bruises, and couldn't deny the truth anymore. I told them everything, showed them the evidence, and to my surprise, they believed me. They were disgusted by his actions, and they turned on him. They helped the police, and he was arrested again, this time for breaking and entering and theft. With him behind bars, I finally had the space to breathe. I started working again, saved up enough, and moved out with the kids. We're in a new place now, a safe place. It's not easy, but we're rebuilding step by step. And his family, they've been surprisingly supportive. They apologized for not believing me sooner and have been helping with the kids. It's weird, but it feels like we're all victims of his lies, and now we're coming together because of them. I'm still healing, and it's a long road ahead, but I'm not looking back. I'm focusing on the future, on my kids, and on rebuilding our lives without him. It's not the closure I imagined, but it's a start.